What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how you guys can beat press on the goal line, okay? So we're going to be talking about some of the three key things you guys can do to beat man coverage when you're down and tight, when you're inside maybe the 10-yard line, 20-yard line, red zone situation, goal line situation, how you guys can beat man coverage, and some of the different things that you guys should be focusing on with your route. So I hope this video gives you guys some value, but also we're going to be talking about this new product that we just started offering on my website called the Route Tree, right? So obviously it's not just the basic route tree 0 through 9. What it is we take you through the route tree, but we talk about the exact steps and we break down the exact techniques you guys should use against man coverage and against zone coverage, okay? So we're going to talk about how you run each route against man, how you run each route against zone, the specific steps you need to take to get out of each break. If you want access to this video, check out that very first link in the description, guys. It says Route Tree Breakdown. It's an advanced breakdown, how to run each route versus against man and zone coverage. Let's get started with this video. So first route we're going to take a look here is from Dez Bryant. So when he goes up for this thing, you see how he goes up strong, right? So that's one of the main keys. Doesn't get a whole lot of separation off the line, right? So DB's very disciplined, does not bite to the inside, watching these hips, doesn't really sell much with his upper half, right? Dez Bryant kind of stays square right here, which is why he doesn't move this DB too much off his platform. I think if he throws to the outside a little bit more, that can get this DB to move off his platform, but we're going to get into that with these next two clips after this. But when this ball's in the air, that's a big thing. And you see when he gets off the line, you see how much of a burst he has, right? It's always going to be a race to that almost back corner of the end zone. Or I wouldn't even, not in this case, and I wouldn't even necessarily say back corner, but off the line, it's always, especially when you got a goal line fade called in the playbook, it's always a race to get to that spot, right? So you see how Dez Bryant has got his head down, he's bursting up there, trying to force a reaction off this DB. Now when this ball's thrown, this is that 50-50 ball, right? So now the thing is, even with him grabbing him on his waist, we still want to be able to go up strong. This is the definition of going up strong right here, okay? So a lot of people will say, and a lot of people critique me when I talk about this, and they say that, which is fine, but which they'll say is like, oh, well, you can't really teach that kind of stuff. That's just something that you have. Yeah, well, yeah, but if nobody tells you that you have to think a certain way or do something, then how are you ever going to know to do it, right? You're not going to be good at you're not going to be good at these types of situations. So what you got to have is you got to have that mentality of you're going to go up strong, you're going to have a strong body, go up with a strong grip, your hands are going to be soft, and you're going to really make sure that we secure this catch. That's the main thing. And going up strong is all about securing this thing and being able to pull it away from this DB. So Dez does a great job of doing that. And when you guys are down in tight on the goal line, red zone, inside the 10, it's so important that you guys have strong hands, even going over the middle, even maybe catching this thing like you're running a corner route and you got to go up and high point it. Having strong hands, going up strong, well, I would necessarily say like soft hands, but actually being strong to the catch and having a strong grip. That's the goal right here, and ripping this thing away from this DB. We have this thing, we secure it, we rip it away from the DB so the DB cannot make a play on this thing. That's a great job by Dez. Again, we go up and catch it at its highest point. We go up strong. We make sure my hands are soft. I'm looking this thing in with my eyes, and then I rip and pull it away from that DB. That's a great job here from Dez. Watch this thing again, full speed one more time. So he comes off here, bursts up vertical, make sure we go up strong, rip that thing away, and make sure we secure the catch, okay? So now we're going to be looking at this dig route from Chase Claypool, okay? So now, number one thing about this dig route from Claypool is that he sells vertical, okay? And you see they're on like 5-yard line, right? The most important thing here is and obviously let's think about it like this. Claypool's a big dude, right? So what are we always going to be threatened by as a DB, especially if you're a bigger receiver, right? And if you're a smaller receiver, the same thing kind of applies. It's just you're not as much of a threat, but off the snap of the ball, you're already a threat down and close for a jump ball, right? So let's maybe make him think that. Let's use that to my advantage. So let's watch this full speed. So Claypool comes off, sells with those eyes, then he accelerates on this dig back over the middle, and again, what did he do? He went up strong. He went up with a strong grip and make sure he pulled this thing down and secured this catch, and he ripped it away from the DB, much like what we were talking about with that goal line fade. We're mainly going to be focusing on the route, but I wanted to highlight that. Like I said, when it's down here and things are tight, things are close, we got to be strong with my grip. I got to go up with a strong frame. Got to have soft hands. Obviously, my eyes got to watch this thing, but when I secure this ball, I'm ripping away from the DB to make sure that I protect this thing. Now, let's break down this route. So he comes off the line, kind of freezes him off the line with this single jab, right? Just single jab to the inside, bursts up vertical, and what does he do? Snaps those eyes and kind of changes up his tempo, right? Because if he snapped those eyes and didn't really change up his tempo, if I'm a DB just based on that, if I'm a high IQ DB and you're running those eyes and you're running full speed and you're going to the back corner of the end zone, I'm just going to let you run out of bounds. I'm going to kind of sit underneath and just be like, okay, there's no way that he's going to be running this fast. He's going to probably be slowing himself down, slowing his tempo down a little bit, to react to this goal line fade, right? Unless the quarterback gets this thing up crazy early, right? So, most important thing here is that I get my eyes and he kind of slows his tempo down because that lulls this DB in. That draws him in. That makes him think, oh, crap, I got beat to the corner. It's a race to that back corner of the end zone. He kind of slows it down. Then he kicks up into second gear, right? And that change of tempo changes this DB's tempo because he doesn't want to overcommit either. He doesn't want to run by this thing either, right? And that's a little overanalyzed because obviously, no shit, that's what he doesn't want to do. But make sure that if I change up my tempo like that, I'm able to go right back to 100%, right? So I go from here, I'm looking back for the ball, 0, 100. I kick it up, I run those arms, I accelerate because I got to beat him on a dig, right? This is not an easy thing to do. Now, some of you might ask, like, why would he take an outside release on a dig? And let's talk about that, right? So you see how this DB's inside shade. Now, especially on the goal line, things are in tight, right? Everything's tighter, everything's more compact, right? The routes, spacing is what matters, especially on the goal line. Spacing is so important. If your spacing is off, a lot of things can get congested and then the quarterback doesn't have the right window to throw. So, especially if you're the furthest outside guy, maybe you cut your split down, why force an inside release if he could just shuffle and take away the inside? Because I bet your ass he's playing just straight up man coverage. He's not trying to chase you across the goal line, especially down in when they're down 5-yard line. He's not trying to chase you across the field because that's an easy touchdown, right? So he's going to probably take away the inside. So that's why you guys got to be able to work those different kinds of moves top of the route where you're taking outside releases on an inside breaking route, inside release on an outside breaking route. That's why it's good to work those different situations to be successful, right? So that's why he takes the outside release, sells with his eyes, changes up his tempo, 0, 100, bursts up and goes across that middle. Let's watch it again, full speed. Great route by Claypool. Single jab, bursts up outside, then takes the inside, or takes this inside back, takes his dig back inside and accelerates. That's a great route there, okay? Now we're going to be looking at this slant route. These are 3 common routes, folks. That's why I wanted to include them for a lot of you down when you're on the goal line, when you're in close, inside the 5, right, or maybe inside even the 20, whichever it is. These are common routes that you guys are going to run. We don't want to run anything deep down the field. We're not running a whole lot of double move type routes. If anything, maybe like a hitch and go or sluggo, something quick like that where we could just get it up quick from a quarterback perspective. But now we're going to be looking at just a straight up slant. Inside shade again, right? Inside shade again. He's not going to let us just cross his face and go. So what do we have to do? We got to set him up to the outside. So let's watch this thing full speed. So you see Megatron comes off here. He gives this little 1-2 head fake to the outside, and that's what moves this DB off this platform. Because what did I say in the last clip about Claypool, right? Immediately, right? He's already threatened by Megatron going to that back corner of the end zone. He could literally probably just do a diamond release right here and take off 3 hard steps, and that DB would commit his hits because he knows that Megatron is a deep jump ball threat. He's a big guy, physical guy, fast guy, freak athlete, right? So we already have an advantage off the snap of the ball. And if I was a DB, I'd probably think the same damn thing. I'd probably be thinking, okay, he's going fade. But as a receiver, we can understand that. We got to understand what that DB's threatened by, right? Why is he inside shade? He's inside shade because he doesn't want to go inside shade. So if I could really sell like I'm going outside, that can move him off that platform because he's got a lot more real estate over here to cover, right? So he comes off here, Megatron, he goes 1, 2, 3. And you see how he throws his entire upper half, moves his shoulders, moves his hips, and he's facing in this direction, right? He's throwing his hip out. But you see when he makes that cut, you can tell based off his shin angle, he's not opening up his toe. He's not pointing his toe out. He's not opening up his hip. He's giving a head and shoulder fake to the outside, keeping his toe forward so he could burst back right underneath, right? And that's what gets this DB to turn his hips, because if we can sell with my upper half, that's where that DB's going to be looking. He should be looking at his hips. His eyes are obviously a little bit high right here, which is why it's important to throw your entire body, your head and your shoulders and your hips to the outside. But that's what's going to get him to jump, being able to go from square to outside. And then I'm able to drive off of that leg. I just rip through that arm, because if you get him to commit his hips and he throws that hand out there, it's a weak hand. So all I got to do is be able to rip through that hand. I get his hips to lock out, and then I got some separation. And that's plenty of separation, especially when we're down on the goal line, fellas. The separation that we need on the goal line is a lot smaller than the separation we would need in open field. And it's all about the details. Devil's in the details, fellas. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. So Megatron does a great job coming off, throwing his upper half, just giving him this quick 1, 2, 3, and then getting up into this slant. That's a great route. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, guys, if you want a full video breakdown, 40-minute breakdown on routes 0 through 9, each situation against man and zone coverage, the specific details as to each route. We talk about steps. We talk about break points. We talk about beating press coverage, the specific little details. I know we break down a lot of routes on this channel, right? But this is something completely different. It's the total IQ side of things. It's like how to do the movements, not just the technique behind the movement. movements. It's how and when to use them, okay? So very first link in the description. Hope to get you guys on that soon. And also, guys, if you have any questions at all, please leave those in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you guys next time.